Back up! Back up! Hey! Yeah.
The country is in shock. A brutal shooting in Minneapolis involving the Border Patrol has just unleashed an unprecedented fury from Donald Trump. What appeared to be a routine immigration enforcement operation against an armed suspect turned into a national scandal with accusations of fraud, incitement to insurrection, and billions of dollars missing. Get ready, because what I'm about to reveal to you goes far beyond a simple shooting. This is about corruption, cover-ups, and a battle for the soul of America. Stay with me until the end, because the truth is darker than you think. Let's dive in. Let's start from the beginning. Saturday, January 24th, 2026. Minneapolis, Minnesota. The clock strikes 9:05 in the morning. Border Patrol agents are conducting what they call a targeted operation. Their mission? To apprehend an individual wanted for violent assault, an illegal immigrant with a dangerous criminal record. But here's where things take a deadly turn. An individual approaches the federal agents, and he's not coming to talk. He's armed with a 9mm Sig Sauer P320 pistol, a serious weapon, folks. But wait, it gets worse. This suspect is carrying 2 additional full magazines. That's enough ammunition to cause a massacre. And here's the kicker: no identification, nothing, no ID, no wallet, nothing to identify who this person is. According to the Department of Homeland Security, the officers immediately attempt to disarm the suspect. But this individual violently resists. A struggle ensues. Multiple federal agents are fighting with this armed suspect in the middle of a Minneapolis street. The tension is at its peak. The officers fear for their lives and the lives of their fellow agents. In that split second, a decision must be made. Defensive shots are fired. The suspect falls to the ground. Medics rush to provide immediate medical aid, but it's too late. The suspect is pronounced dead at the scene. The Department of Homeland Security later releases a statement describing this as a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. But if you think this is where the story ends, you have no idea what's coming next. Word spreads like wildfire across Minneapolis. Within hours, the streets transform into a battlefield. Approximately 200 protesters flood the area around 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue. The atmosphere is electric, volatile, dangerous. According to law enforcement sources, these aren't peaceful protesters. The Department of Homeland Security reports that rioters begin to obstruct and assault law enforcement officers still on the scene. Think about that for a moment. Federal agents have just been involved in a deadly shooting. They're processing the scene, conducting their investigation, and now they're under attack. The situation escalates so rapidly that crowd control measures must be deployed. Tear gas fills the streets of Minneapolis. The city becomes a powder keg ready to explode. Local officials scramble to respond. The city of Minneapolis releases a statement. Governor Tim Walz, yes, the same Tim Walz who was Kamala Harris's running mate in the 2024 election, issues his own response. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't the first time Minneapolis has erupted over federal immigration enforcement operations. Just weeks before this shooting, a left-wing legal observer was shot and killed in Minneapolis amid intense pressure campaigns against federal officers carrying out immigration enforcement operations in this sanctuary city. Minneapolis has become ground zero in the battle over immigration enforcement. The city has declared itself a sanctuary city, refusing to cooperate with federal immigration authorities. And now, blood is being spilled in the streets. But what do these protests really hide? What's the real story behind the chaos? That's when Donald Trump enters the arena, and he's not holding back. The bomb explodes. At 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, just hours after the shooting, Donald Trump takes to social media with a devastating statement that will shake Minnesota to its core. Trump starts by showing the weapon. This is the gunman's gun, loaded with 2 additional full magazines and ready to go. What is that all about? But then he asks the questions that no one in the mainstream media wants to address. Where are the local police? Why weren't they allowed to protect ICE officers? The mayor and the governor called them off? Let that sink in. Trump is accusing the local leadership, the mayor of Minneapolis and Governor Tim Walz, of withdrawing police protection from federal agents conducting a lawful operation. He continues, it is stated that many of these police were not allowed to do their job, that ICE had to protect themselves. Not an easy thing to do. Think about the implications here. Federal agents trying to arrest a violent criminal, allegedly left to fend for themselves by local authorities who are supposed to support law enforcement. But Trump doesn't stop there. He goes for the jugular, accusing the mayor and governor of something even more serious. The mayor and the governor are inciting insurrection with their pompous, dangerous, and arrogant rhetoric. Inciting insurrection. Those are fighting words, folks. Trump is essentially saying that local officials are encouraging rebellion against federal law enforcement. Remember, Minneapolis has been at the center of the sanctuary city movement. City and state officials have publicly stated their refusal to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement. They've pledged to resist Trump's deportation operations. But Trump's final message in this initial statement is crystal clear. Let our ICE patriots do their job. 12,000 illegal alien criminals, many of them violent, have been arrested and taken out of Minnesota. If they were still there, you would see something far worse than you are witnessing today. 12,000 criminal illegal aliens arrested in Minnesota alone. But here's where the story takes an absolutely shocking turn, because what Trump reveals next will make you question everything you thought you knew about what's happening in Minnesota. Here's where this story goes from a tragic shooting to a massive scandal that could implicate some of the most powerful people in Minnesota. Trump releases a follow-up statement that will blow your mind. He's not just attacking the handling of this shooting anymore. He's making accusations that, if true, would represent one of the biggest fraud cases in American history. Trump writes, why does Ilhan Omar have $34 million in her account? $34 million. He's directly questioning the finances of Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, one of the most progressive members of Congress and a representative from Minnesota. But he doesn't stop there. Trump continues. And where are the tens of billions of dollars that have been stolen from the once great state of Minnesota? Tens of billions, not millions, billions with a B. Trump is alleging that massive amounts of money have been stolen from Minnesota, he explains. We are there because of massive monetary fraud, with billions of dollars missing, and illegal criminals that were allowed to infiltrate the state through the Democrats' open border policy. According to Trump, the federal immigration enforcement operations in Minneapolis aren't just about deporting criminal illegal aliens. They're part of an investigation into massive financial fraud. Trump draws a direct comparison. We want the money back, and we want it back now. Those fraudsters who stole the money are going to jail where they belong. This is no different than a really big bank robbery. A bank robbery. He's calling this organized theft on a scale that dwarfs typical financial crimes. And here's the absolutely explosive part of Trump's statement. Much of what you're witnessing is a cover-up for this theft and fraud. The mayor and the governor are inciting insurrection with their pompous, dangerous, and arrogant rhetoric. Trump is saying that the protests, the resistance to ICE operations, the sanctuary city policies, it's all a cover-up, a distraction from billions of dollars that have allegedly been stolen, he continues. Instead, these sanctimonious political fools should be looking for the billions of dollars that has been stolen from the people of Minnesota and the United States of America. And Trump ends with his rallying cry, let our ICE patriots do their job. 12,000 illegal alien criminals, many of them violent, have been arrested and taken out of Minnesota. If they were still there, you would see something far worse than you are witnessing today. So let me break down what Trump is alleging here. Number one, billions of dollars have been stolen from Minnesota through some kind of massive fraud scheme. Number two, this fraud is connected to illegal immigration and the Democrats' open border policies. Number three, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar somehow has $34 million, and Trump is questioning where that money came from. Number four, local officials are creating chaos and inciting insurrection to cover up this massive theft. Number five, the federal immigration operations are not just about deportations, they're about investigating and exposing this fraud. These are extraordinary claims. If even a fraction of this is true, we're talking about one of the biggest political scandals in American history. So where does this leave us? A man is dead in the streets of Minneapolis. Federal agents are under attack. The city is in chaos. And the President of the United States is alleging a multi-billion-dollar fraud scheme involving some of the most powerful politicians in Minnesota. This story is far from over. In fact, it may just be beginning. There are serious implications for the future of federal immigration enforcement, for the sanctuary city movement, and potentially potentially for some very powerful people if Trump's allegations prove to have merit. And here's something crucial. DHS funding legislation that would fund ICE at current levels is now in the Senate and needs 60 votes to pass by next Friday. After today's shooting and the political firestorm it's created, getting those votes just became a whole lot harder. This story is much bigger than it seems. The questions we need to be asking are, is there really a massive fraud scheme in Minnesota? What evidence does Trump have? What is Ilhan Omar's connection, if any? Were local police really told to stand down? And what happens next in this escalating battle between federal and local authorities? These are the questions the mainstream media won't ask. They don't want you thinking about these connections. They want you to focus on the shooting and ignore everything else Trump is saying. But we're not going to let this story die. Share this video right now. Get this information out there. Subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell because I'll be following every development in this case. Comment below. Do you think Trump's allegations have merit? Is something bigger going on in Minnesota? Let's discuss. The truth is out there, folks, and we're going to find it together. I'll see you in the next video. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and never stop questioning.